Before starting today's video, I wanted to give a shout out to my sponsor Audible for helping to support my channel. For those who are unfamiliar, Audible is a service with an unmatched collection of audiobooks spanning every genre you can imagine. Today you can sign up through my link at audible.com/filmradar, or you can text filmradar to 500-500 where you'll get a free 30-day trial as well as any free audiobook of your choosing. Personally, I've been listening to Robert Graysmith's novel in preparation for this video, which has been great whenever I'm working out or if I'm in the car. One thing I really love is being able to change the narration speed, which makes everything even more efficient. Every month, members get a free audiobook, special discounts, and even 30% off all of the regularly priced audiobooks. So again, if you're interested in signing up, the link is audible.com/filmradar, or you can text filmradar to 500-500 to get your free trial today. It's a great way of supporting me in my efforts to produce more and better content for this channel, and it's also a great way for you to catch up on some reading. So thank you again to Audible for sponsoring today's video, and I hope you guys enjoy watching.
Search goes on in San Francisco for the man known as the Zodiac Killer. The elements involved today.
Zodiac, a symbol that now stands for terror in San Francisco. Today there was a possibly significant development in the terrifying case of a man who calls himself Zodiac.
The psychotic killer has already murdered 5.
In the late 1960s in San Francisco, there were a series of unsolved murders attributed to the Zodiac killer. He took credit for many more over the years, and there's a lot of speculation to this day as to the authenticity of those claims, but at least 5 were confirmed to have been victims of the Zodiac. In recreating the different events depicted in the film, they went to great lengths to present them as accurately as possible, from recreating a period-accurate San Francisco to building sets that perfectly matched their real-world counterparts, even down to the clothing of the victims. While there was a certain amount of dramatic license taken with the story, as is the case with any film based on true events, there's more attention to detail than most would probably ever notice. Let's start with Blue Rock Springs. In the summer of 1969, Mike Mageau and Darlene Ferrin would find themselves the next victims of the yet unknown Zodiac killer.
Darlene was my girlfriend at the time, and she picked me up at my house, and we were going to go out that night to have a lover's lane type thing, kiss and talk and hold each other's hands.
Let's go someplace quiet.
Okay.
Just before midnight, the two pulled into Blue Rock Springs Park. It was a well-known local lover's lane in the rural parts of Vallejo, located just 4 miles from the crime scene on Lake Herman Road, where the Zodiac had claimed his first victims 7 months prior. While they were enjoying the night and listening to the radio, a car pulled in behind them.
Was that car the driver? I saw that car, Mr. Netzel.
And, he asked Darlene, do you know who that is? And she said something like, never mind.
Who was that, Darlene?
Don't worry about it.
Don't tell me not to worry. Who was it?
It's nothing.
Darlene was married at the time, and Mageau thought that they may have been followed, but the car lingered there for only a moment before driving off.
And then the car left, and then just very shortly after that, this car pulled up
Let's go.
behind their car with the headlights on.
We thought he just left and he wasn't going to bother us anymore, but he came back. He had a big beamer just blinded my eyes, right in my eyes. I thought it was a police with a flashlight.
Get your wallet.
I thought it was a policeman. That's why I wrote it in the window, so I could have my ID.
Man, you really creeped us out.
And that's when he started shooting.
Then the next call I got was about 12:40. He spoke in a monotone. He had a very non-emotional voice. You know, his first words were,
Vallejo Police Department.
I want to report a double murder. If you'll go 1 mile east on Columbus Parkway to the public park, you'll find the kids in a brown car. They were shot with a 9mm Luger, and I also killed those kids last year. And when he got to the end of his statement, It's hard for me to duplicate, but his voice really changed when he came to goodbye. He said something like, goodbye.
Many of these details could have been changed, and most people would never know the difference, but I think it contributes to this almost hypnotic quality that the film has, that at times feels more like a documentary than your run-of-the-mill crime drama. And it's because the people involved compiled so much research that it was almost like they were opening their own investigation. They were given access to every case file, even files that were kept in the private homes of retired police, and everything was examined thoroughly. Every surviving victim or police officer interviewed, and through compiling every piece of information still salvageable, they managed to create what's arguably the most realistic true crime film ever made. Let's take a look at another scene, the attack at Lake Berryessa. Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were friends from college who decided to spend a relaxing Saturday afternoon picnicking at Lake Berryessa. While normally quite busy during the summertime, the lake was largely empty after Labor Day, and the two thought that they had the beautiful view all to themselves.
And I noticed that she was becoming distracted. She said, "There's a man over there."
Somebody else is here.
It is a public park.
And I assumed, since we're out on a peninsula and there was a spit of water between where we were and the next area over, and I thought they were on the other side of the water. So seeing someone on that hill, would be of interest, but not of any great urgency. But seeing someone as close as her would obviously be some cause for concern. And so I'm continuing to talk, and then she says, "He went behind a tree."
Went behind that tree.
It wasn't an improved park site. There wasn't regular established bathrooms. So if you had to use the restroom, you just kind of get out of eye shot of whoever you were with, or go behind a tree or something like that.
All right, so he's taking a leak.
That actually validated what I thought was happening on the 1,000 feet away, that someone was actually relieving themselves behind a tree, and I commented. She still wasn't paying attention, which to me was kind of distracting, because why should you worry if someone that far away was doing whatever they're doing?
He's coming towards us.
And then her eyes got wide and she says, "Oh my God, he's got a gun."
Don't move.
And I turn around and I'm faced with this man, not running, but walking briskly toward me, wearing a hood, black hood. It comes down in the front, across his chest and back up. And on the front was about a 4-inch across circle with crosshairs. At the time, it really didn't strike me, because it was just something that a person was putting over themselves so that they wouldn't be seen. The symbolism on it really didn't mean anything. He didn't identify himself as being the Zodiac. In fact, as soon as I get up, he goes, "Okay, hold on, everybody. Nothing to be afraid of. All I want is your money, and I need your car. If everybody stays cool, nobody's going to get hurt."
I want your money and your car keys. Okay. We're not going to do anything, okay? We're going to cooperate.
And I offered him assistance. I told him what I was doing in school.
I might be able to help you. Even more than you might think.
He's a sociology major.
Pre-law.
And that if I could be of any assistance whatsoever, I offered him my phone number. You've got to check if I'd really like to help you, if you'd be willing to accept help.
If there's anything else I could do for you, maybe I could write you a check. Okay, I could give you my phone number.
He said, "Well, what I need right now is to get you tied up."
Don't get up. I want her to tie you up.
He pulled some cuts of 3-foot lengths of clothesline, and he handed those to Cecilia and asked her to tie me up. While she was tying me up, I mentioned to her that I thought that I could get the gun, that if I was just to move a little bit closer.
Don't get any ideas. Not.
Well, he stepped back about 2 or 3 feet from that, and I never really had an opportunity again.
He told me at that time that he had killed a guard getting out of a prison.
I killed a guard escaping from prison in Montana. I'm not doing anything, okay? I'm not afraid to kill again.
And so I assumed at the time that something was wrong, but as far as a psychopath or any other aberration, I really didn't realize at the moment. I wasn't concerned because I was cooperating with him and I expected that he would cooperate with me. And he mentioned that he was a convict trying to get to Mexico and needed money and transportation.
I'm taking your car. I'm going to Mexico.
Of course, she was real nervous and tied me rather loosely.
She tied you loose, didn't she?
And he came and he tightened the knots up.
I'm trying to engage him in conversation.
What was the name of that prison?
Where you been? What's where you headed?
Hey, you said it was in Montana, right?
As soon as we were tied, he then said he wanted me to get down and lay on my stomach so that he could tie my feet.
So I can tie your feet.
And I kind of fussed with him a bit, and I said, you know,
it gets really cold out here at night. We could freeze.
Which really wasn't so much cold, it was just the inconvenience of being stuck out all night. I got the impression we were kind of getting near the end. I mean, there wasn't anything much more he could do. He was going to leave, he was going to take my keys, take whatever money I had. And I kind of looked around and I said, can you do me a favor? Tell me, was the gun really loaded?
You know, just because people are going to ask, was that thing even loaded?
Pulls the gun and pulls out the clip and shows me a full clip. And I'm thinking, okay, you know, that's interesting. And I put my head down because it's like he put the gun away. He's going to leave now.
It's okay. This is all going to be okay.
And I saw just the kind of a flash out of the corner of my eye. He pulls the knife, and the next thing I know is I feel it in my back. He stabbed me, I think, 6 times. And they were in fairly quick succession. The difference, of course, with Cecilia is she saw what was happening. When he goes to stab her, she's moving. She's rolling away, and you know, to be perfectly frank, what they've captured on the film that you see when Cecilia is being stabbed, that's the flash I saw happening, and I had to look away. And about the time you would look away, that's when that piece ends in the film. It's an eerie reproduction of what happened in my vision. I couldn't have scripted it better.
The phone rang, and I recall saying, Officer Slate, Napa Police Department. There was a male voice on the other end of the phone, and he said, I want to report a murder. No, a double murder. They're 2 miles north of park headquarters, and they were in a white Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. He said very calmly, I'm the one that did it.
I looked at the Carmen Ghia, and on the passenger door, the circle with the vertical and horizontal line running through it was displayed on the door, and there were several dates, and then it ended with September 27th, 1969, 6:30 p.m. by knife, and so he had left his calling card is what he had done.
Early last Saturday evening, Celia Shepard and Brian Hartnell, both in their early 20s, were sitting on this knoll of land overlooking part of Lake Berryessa. They thought they were alone, but there was a third man on this knoll, a man who wore a medieval-style executioner's hood, carried a knife and gun, and intended to use them.
It's easy enough to forget that these were real people and that these horrifying things actually happened. I think we've been so inundated with films based on quote-unquote true stories that bear very little resemblance to the actual events that we're used to that tagline being more of a gimmick than an accurate descriptor of a film. But Zodiac is one of the few films to actually earn that statement. Now, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of details that were altered or removed to condense the story, but as far as depicting the investigation or the different crime scenes, it's about as close to the real thing as you can get. They wanted to pay proper respect to men like Robert Graysmith, Dave Toschi, Bill Armstrong, and many more who gave years of their lives in pursuit of the Zodiac, but also to those who suffered so tremendously at his hands. Not to mention that it just makes for a better story. If the goal of fiction is to create a world and characters so vivid that it feels like a real place inhabited by real people, then when adapting a true story, that work is already done for you. So why change anything if you don't have to? Hey, thank you for watching my video. I definitely tried something a little bit different with this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're looking for something similar to this video, I'd highly recommend checking out Thomas Light's video on Mindhunter, which was definitely an inspiration behind this video. And again, a huge thank you to Audible for sponsoring this video, and to anyone who goes to sign up through that link. It really helps me out in what I'm doing here. For those of you who don't know, I'm making a more concentrated effort to kind of make this my full-time job, which may or may not be a terrible idea, but I believe in what I'm doing, and I'm really proud of what I've built so far, and obviously none of that would be possible without you guys. So thank you so much to everyone who watches, comments, subscribes, all of that stuff. Thank you so much for doing what you do. And as always, I have to say a huge thank you to my patrons. I see you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for helping to support me. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.